Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. I wanted to do another Opportunity Series video blog here. And as you all know, I've blogged many times over the years about, yes, I know how difficult it is to get ahead in Vancouver real estate. We're in a very hot market right now. It's summer 2015. Lots of people complaining about how unaffordable Vancouver is. And yes, it is for sure. This is the toughest real estate market in Canada, one of the toughest in North America. We're not alone here though, I can tell you. I travel a lot. I can tell you that Toronto's market is hot, Boston, Manhattan, New York, of course, Southern California, Washington, D.C., if you want to go overseas, London, Paris. These are all hot real estate markets. Vancouver isn't an anomaly by any means. Any popular city that people want to live in, it goes hand in hand with high real estate prices. So you can do one of two things. You can fold your tent and go someplace where it may be not as much competition, like Winnipeg or Edmonton, or you can try and battle it out here and try and get ahead. Now, one of the ways you can get ahead, there's a couple of things. You can out-earn your way and save your money and earn your money and try and get into the market that way. And we know that's tough because, of course, everyone complains there's not a lot of big high-paying jobs here, and the job wages haven't kept pace with what the housing market has done. But another way to do is that I've blogged about many times before, there are opportunities out there. If you get a good realtor who's got some inside knowledge on things and what to look for, you can get ahead. The secret is you buy something that's going to give you a more appreciation than the general market. And there's a number of good opportunities out there. Things like buying subdividable lots on busy streets or land assembly deals later on. Those are the type of things you buy them, you hang on to them for 5, 6, 7 years and wait for rezoning and redevelopment. And you'll get a much bigger appreciation than what the general market is doing. But another one is, and I blogged about it a few years back, is focusing in on some buildings that have had major remediation work. They've had major rain screening levies done, or they've just gotten their depreciation report done in the last year or two, and it's calling for a whole pile of work: balconies, roofs, windows, elevators, boilers. And that depreciation report hits, and down go the prices systematically. I've had many condo and townhouse complexes over the last 3 or 4 years that have been hit with a pretty heavy depreciation report that's calling for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 per owner. And right away, once that hits, of course, any potential buyers get a copy of that depreciation report, and they immediately take that $40,000 and then some right off the asking price. And what can usually happen is this depreciation report gets floated out there. It calls for $40,000, down go the prices. Usually what these stratas end up doing is they'll revise the depreciation report, or what are the got-to-dos with the nice-to-dos. All the while the prices get kind of beaten up. But eventually what happens is that they do approve some of these levies and start the work, and the prices will start to rebound. Now, oftentimes these can be tremendous buying opportunities because let's take, for example, a 40-year-old complex. And this is the crazy thing about real estate. You could have a 200-unit complex that had a depreciation report done 3 years ago, let's say, that called for $40,000. Now, the building was well built, well constructed. It's 40 years old. It's just wear and tear. Things need to be replaced. They need their third roof now. The windows are gone. They need new siding. Everything has a life expectancy. Now, the prices can go, let's say, for instance, from $300,000 all the way down to $200,000 while they bandy about these levies that are hanging over the complex. Eventually, a guy can step in, they'll approve them, and start levying for some of these upgrades, and you can step in and buy one of these units for $200,000 or $220,000, and then let the remediation work take its course. They might only be calling for $30,000 in work, but the price hit on the resale values is more like $100,000. That's a good buying opportunity. And to prove it, these units now are selling in the low twos. They're now starting to levy them and get these improvements done. You can go a half a mile down the road to a very similar complex built around the same time. They haven't got their depreciation report done yet. They're going to have to eventually, It's still 40 years old. They're still going to need all the same work done, the roofs, the balconies, the siding, the windows. They just haven't owned up to it yet. And I see these same units still selling for $300,000. That's not the one you want to buy, because eventually they're going to have to face the music, get the depreciation report done, and then the same thing is going to happen. The prices are going to slide all the way down to $200,000. So a smart buyer can look through these things. You want to buy the one that's got the depreciation already built into it. It got the depreciation report done. The prices got beaten up by $100,000. Now they're going to levy you $20,000. You've got yourself an $80,000 premium there in the next few years once all this remediation works gets done. And the prices, it's so surprising, or it's startling how quickly the prices will start to turn once they approve the levies, they get the roof started, they start the painting, and things start getting going. So those are the things you want to focus in on. You know, rain screen buildings, depreciation reports that have had a huge effect on the selling prices. The depreciation's already built into it. It's just like investing. You know, a good investor in buying a stock makes his money going in. It's at the purchase price, and then he lets the appreciation do its thing over time. So the opportunities are out there. Don't lose hope. If you're a young buyer out there, get a good realtor who can get you in on these things. You know, I'm not allowed to advertise the fact, but I do handle a lot of, there are still foreclosures, court-ordered sales out there. I handle them all the time. In BC, though, of course, you can't advertise a unit as a foreclosure, as a court-ordered sale. The banks want to keep that low-key. I can tell you about it when I see you in person at a showing, and I can also put it in the agent's remarks that only realtors see. But I see some tremendous court-order sales and foreclosure opportunities out there all the time as well for the right buyer, especially a guy who's handy. You can buy these units, put $20,000 or $25,000 into them, and you can do quite well over time on these units for sure. So there's opportunity out there. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.